Okay.
Thank you, Amit, for being here today with us. We're going ahead and talk to you for all the viewers to get to know who you are. So, if you'd like to give an opening statement, this is a great opportunity. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I think most of people don't know me, so let me just give a brief introduction. I'm a first generation immigrant, and my name is Amit, and the meaning is there is no boundaries. I came to US in 1980 for higher studies on scholarships, and after completing my PhD and master's in chemical engineering, I worked for multinationals for several years in research and development. And in 1999, I started my own business to provide contract research and testing services to plastics industry. So we are living in Coppell for 24 years. I'm married to Sangeeta for 34 years, and we have raised two wonderful kids who attended CISD. The reason we moved to Coppell was CISD. We didn't know anything else about Coppell. It was a small town then. This was 24 years ago. There were not many strip malls and stuff like that. So we are happy. This is our home. We have been here for a long time. We feel that this is a home away from home.
Absolutely. I've been here since '94. So and grew up here in town, and I too this is my home. Home away from home when I left and came back. All right, let's get started. Why are you running for city council, and why should voters choose you over your opponent?
Very good question. I hear this a lot even when I knock the door. Uh, in my culture, the life has four phases: the learning, earning, serving, and seeking nirvana. Okay. I am entering the third stage. My duty so far was to my family and to maintain my business. I have realized my American dream and I am ready to serve. Okay. Now, that is a general answer, but specifically, I'm running for financially stronger Coppell, environmentally greener Coppell, and socially inclusive, vibrant Coppell. And I have a plan for all those three, and we will get to that. Why people should vote for me? I had a coffee cup hour with Kevin. He's a funny guy. We had a good laughter. Okay. If you ask me what is the difference, apart from the obvious differences, which you know, I have a few grayer hair and fewer hair than Kevin. Okay. So Kevin, I applaud his volunteer work. He has been here for a long time. He attended CISD, so he knows a lot of people. But if you really look at what councilman does, right, I have a much broader experience. I'm a research engineer, so I have a keen eye for detail. Connecting dot is easy. Looking at the dot and finding the dot is the difficult job. So I'm very data driven. When I make decisions, no emotions are involved. It's totally fact based, database. And when I ask question, I'm like a little kid. If I keep on asking question, you will feel like toddler is on your knees. Okay. I don't leave until I get my answers. So when people look at overall business experience I have, I'm an innovator, inventor, entrepreneur. I'm also educator. I worked as adjunct faculty for UNT. So I have a very broad experience. I work domestically and internationally. I work with people all the way up to CEO levels to a floor operator. If I have to sweep the floor, I have no shame. I'm a hands-on guy. Okay. So what you get from me is someone who is willing to put time, who is willing to study the issues, who is willing to listen, and who is willing to form a plan to execute it. And I think in that respect, when people look at my background, hopefully they will at least give me a chance.
Perfect. Great. What are two or three of the most important actions you would take if elected, and how would you advance them and pay for them?
This is a very important question. The first and foremost, the issue we are facing is not only a couples issue; it's nationwide. There are a lot of new communities now. They are aging. Just like Coppell, in last 10 years, we have totally added 3,300 people. That's it. Okay. And I was talking to someone who knows Coppell far better than I do, and he said that we may add another 3,300 in next 10 years. Okay. So we are leveling off. Our revenues are not going to increase dramatically. Okay. And our expenditures, because we are aging town, are going to increase. If you look at our budget, we are borrowing. We are borrowing quite a bit. Okay. And we are spending on construction and other projects, and there are projects in pipeline where we may even need to borrow more. Okay. So my thinking is that when until we find a better way to deal with the revenues, we need to tighten the belt, look at what we need, and put the wants aside for time being. Okay. And I advise people to run ABC, which is accounting based costing, where you take each function, for example, safety, right? And you look at all the incidences. Incidences, how many incidences per day? How many incidences per officer? Okay. You do all those, and I'm just taking an example. It can go to any function. Okay. Once you do the ABC, it will flesh out where we are spending money, appropriately, and where we are spending money where we are not getting good returns. And if I'm elected, I'm going to be very diligent. My mother raised me not to waste anything. And we are very resourceful. At my home, I have a strict rule that penny saved, it's don't waste anything. And I'm very conscious about it. It's my training. It's the way I'm brought up. We didn't have much, and so we value everything. So if I'm elected, I'm going to restrict unnecessary spending. My second issue is couples demographic has changed considerably in last 10 years, not even 20 years, in 10 years. Coppell has 30% of residents who are first or second generation immigrants. Okay. It's a very diverse community. Out of those 30%, 80 are Asian. Okay. And these people or my community don't participate fully in elections. So I want them to vote in these elections, be a part of the total American dream. Okay. This is the American experience. Participating in election is the main thing. And when we all do that, I want to see a more harmonious Coppell where every voice is counted. So I have a proposal: know your neighbor. Before you know everybody else, at least know your neighbor. I came to know my neighbor's name after 23 years. We nodded head, we waved, hands, we smiled at each other, but we didn't know each other's name until the February freeze. Okay. So I urge everyone to at least know three or four neighbors in case of emergency they need it. Okay. So these are the issues that I'm really concerned about. I'm also very passionate about environmentally greener economy, and I'm working with volunteer group. My dream is to get a proper recycling program, proper food scrap decomposting program. And I also want to work with large companies and see if we can make solar energy affordable for Coppell, not only in residential buildings, but also in public buildings. So these are some of the main issues I'm running for, and I have a vision, plan, and action item for them.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Where does the development or redevelopment emphasis need to be in your community, residential or commercial? And how has Coppell performed in this area?
When I look at Coppell, it's just like as if I'm not growing up. I still think of Coppell 24 years ago. Okay. And now when I drive from my home to work, I see tremendous amount of commercial buildings. Okay. One of the hope when we brought all these commercial buildings in the city was that it will help us to increase the revenue. Okay. The type of the business we got in, our of course is helping. The ratio of residential property taxes is much higher than the commercial property taxes. Okay. And the sales revenue is still not that great, and that depends on the type of businesses we get in. Okay. So we have a lot of warehousing kind of businesses, and they occupy a lot of space. They hire a low wage and a low skill employees. They really don't care about community. Okay? Those are the warehousing distribution business, and I work with a lot of them. Okay, the other major problem is the commercial properties are not valued rightly. Okay, I had a 1 hour discussion with DCPD supervisor, and I disagree with the methodology. So if I have to invest in commercial buildings, I will bring high-tech industries. 75% of Coppell's residents are educated. They have a more than college education. 552 PhDs. Can you believe that? 552 PhDs. So we need to bring businesses who can hire these high-skilled people. Why they have to leave Coppell? If we are educated and we have a businesses here, they will work for the businesses locally, they contribute, and it will grow. Okay, so my preference is to be, for whatever land is now remaining, to bring a high-tech businesses. Okay, the businesses which can employ couples high-tech professionals. I also see a need for some kind of a town square. Coppell has a lot of places like Andy Brown East, West, and uh, but we don't have any central place where people can hang out and spend money. Okay, we don't have a good dining areas. We have very few full service restaurants in the city. Okay, so people go out. I normally go out with my family and guests to Plano, to be honest, or I go to Las Colinas. Okay, because there are no places in Coppell where I can take someone for a full service dinner. Okay, we need to have a place. Now when we did the art center and developed the old town, we spent a lot of money, but that area is in a far corner. It doesn't have enough parking. It doesn't have enough space to, let's say, to arrange for a music concert outside. Okay, where you have 1,000 people. Okay, so in spite of spending that money, that area will require a lot of effort to develop it as a public square. Okay, we are not kind of a city where people will come to do sightseeing. Okay, we don't have any conference places. We don't have any large theaters or shopping malls. So how we are going to get sales revenue? No, we need to have a place where people love to go, spend money basically, like a Cypress Water. Okay, Cypress Water. I don't know what we did, but we missed an opportunity. We really missed that opportunity. That area is going to grow, and that area is going to be so beautiful. Okay. So, if I just to answer your question briefly, I would be very selective in inviting businesses in Capel. I would not have because see, other reason is that when you invite businesses which occupy larger spaces and doesn't employ a lot of people, you take away land from the residential properties. Okay, so you build more pressure on the available residential properties, and the prices keep jacking up. Okay, and there is a circular effect that when the house prices goes up, the leases goes up, and so a lot of businesses won't come in. Like a lot of restaurant people told me that they don't like to come in Capel because the lease rate is so high and fees are so high. Okay, so these are some of the things. And I am from research. This is irrelevant, but if I have my way, I will build a research triangle here where I bring people from universities to do research, use our kids as interns, and make it like a focal point. None of the nearby town has a research center. So these are some of the things I would do.
Thank you. Okay. Does Coppell deliver services in the most cost effective manner? Please be specific about improvements you would advocate.
There are two answers. Uh, when I deal with the staff members, because I'm running out with a lot of questions, and I tell them in my book there is no stupid question. And most of the time, those people have answered me completely. They have spent time answering my question. They have been extremely polite and sharing. Not only that, they told me that, Amit, we would love people to interact with us. Okay. I was looking at the budget meeting the other day. All the women were dressed, okay, the presenters. They were so well prepared. And you know how many people attended the whole thing? I was on the Zoom call and there were two others in the audience. Okay. I had sent several emails to friends and put on the social blog that please attend this meeting. Now, I can imagine how much time Jennifer and Casey and all that had put in this thing. Okay. This is not an easy thing to do. And, it's like if you are invited to make presentation by your manager and there is nobody present and you have to present it to walls. Okay. And people have to participate. Okay. Um, so when it comes to council members, I have a completely different opinion. Okay, I have been watching council meetings for quite some time now, and to be honestly, I I don't know what kind of deliberations and debates goes behind the doors, because we see only working sessions. In working sessions, I see a very little discussions. Okay, I have seen very few votes where there is a dissenting vote. Okay. Uh, I'm sure that they're debating. They are all very smart people, by the way. I have seen their white eye. I have spoken one on one with all of them. I've spent at least an hour with each one of them. They're very bright people, very good people. But I don't see the kind of debate that you need on a major projects. Okay. Most of the votes that I have seen are in line. I also have seen that there is a fatigue because some members are running third time, more than third time. Okay. I see some members are very sharp. They are well prepared. They ask questions, and you can tell. It's like watching kids in the class who has done the homework and who has not. Uh, I can see some of the councilmen ask very sharp questions, and the person who is living and we are running for his position. I won't take his name, but he was one of the most deliberating councilmen, in my opinion. Okay, he asked very sharp question and he demanded answers, and I really love it. Are they open? There was something going on that we are open. It's open door policy. People don't come, etc. But there is also some resistance. Okay, uh, they want us to connect via phones and emails. Uh, I my I told one resident that in my book, if any citizen walks in, the work should stop and listen to them first, because they are the one who put you there. You are working for them. If they have a concern or comment and if they come properly with the permission, they should be heard first. Everything else comes second. Okay, that's my answer for that.
Perfect. Thank you. And lastly, please rate the transparency of decision making in the city.
I didn't understand it. That didn't we? You talk about the openness, right?
Right.
Last
So
question. So explain me what transparency you are looking for.
I think you touched on it already.
Yeah,
Honestly, you were
yeah,
very descriptive in one of your other answers. Basically, if things are going on, for your instance, if things are going on in the city with the council, with city matters, for you as a citizen to be able to get that information
yes,
and all that, which, like
yes.
I said, you've touched on.
Yes.
Uh,
I think in that case, the city manager's office is very transparent. You can get information you want, especially city secretary. She has been wonderful. Okay. I mean, she has been really wonderful. And I was really impressed how rapidly they answer and how fully they answer. So it's up to us to use their facility and openness, right?
Absolutely, we have a pretty fantastic city here,
Yeah.
I would say. Okay, Amit, that was the questions we had for you, but I want to give you this opportunity to give your closing statement or touch on anything that we may not have discussed. So here's your opportunity to talk to the viewers and let them know one last time who you are and why to vote for you.
So when people ask me what is so special about Coppell, right? And 90% of time you will hear it as the best school district, right? But I think the Coppell's biggest asset is its highly educated citizenry. It's a very diverse population, okay? And that represents the modern America, okay? Our asset is our educated people and the culturally diverse community. Okay. I would like to Coppell to continue the way it has been. And to do that, we have to be diligent. We can elect councilmen, but ultimately it is our responsibility to hold them accountable. Okay, so we have to be participating, we have to be responsible. Casting a vote based on popularity or knowing someone is not enough. You have to look at the issues. Okay, I also want to tell people, when we go door to door knocking, some people may not be happy about it, but think, councilman is not paid. Okay, it's a 3 years commitment. Okay, I have seen councilmen in the meeting until 10 o'clock, from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock. It's not easy. It consumes time. So they are doing all this for you. Okay, so you better appreciate it. Okay, they are not doing totally for them. Of course, we all want certain satisfaction from winning and stuff like that. But these demands work. I'm running around. I have knocked on 700 doors myself, and in a heat, me and my wife go out. Okay, and it's not an easy work. Okay, so I want people to recognize it, study the issues, vote for anyone. Okay, but vote. 25,000 eligible voters and 3,200 turnout, okay, and 75% people with higher than college education. How does that all jam? It doesn't. Okay, we need more people to vote. Vote for anyone. Okay, vote for anyone that agrees with your position, but vote. Please vote. You know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So just get out there and vote.
that's it.
There you go. Well, thank you, Amit Dharia, running for place 4. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me
Thank you
today.
for the invitation. I really appreciate it. Thank
I
you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.